All right, I've been talking about it. Now we get to take a look at what we can do to monitor our application using application insights.
When dealing with metrics and performance, you want as much information as you can get with, frankly, as little upfront effort as possible. And that's where Application Insights comes into play. And this tool is, in my opinion, just amazing. And I know that sounds like kind of a fanboy thing to say, if I can say that. But this is one of those things where it just kind of popped up. And I was working one time, say, hey, cool, let me see what this is. And I've really been blown away by it ever since. It's super easy to work with. And I've already got it. I've already got it set up because I wanted to capture some data. In fact, during previous demonstrations, it was active and capturing some data. All right, but I want to show you how easy it is to actually implement this. Now, first of all, when you create a new project, if I go new project and I create a web application, and right here, Application Insights, I can simply check that, and it's going to let me add Application Insights, and I can choose where they go, etc. All right, and now if you've already got a web application or really any website, this honestly doesn't even have to be something that's going into Azure. You can use this for anything. You can use it for mobile apps. You can even use this for desktop apps. But as you might expect, its integration is strongest with web-based applications. All right, and so what you see when I right-click my application, I have this Application Insights. Now, I've already installed Application Insights, but if I had not, the option under Application Insights would be to add the Application Insights telemetry into my project, and I would get a similar set of options that I just went through very quickly when I showed it to you in terms of what session I want to set this up with. All right. And you can, all sorts of fun stuff you can do, set a source. I can actually look at this live, but this I think is pretty cool. So I'm just going to go ahead and run this in my development environment. I'm going to pause this a moment while it comes up. Now, as soon as the application comes up, and without having to do anything else, I can go and I can navigate around, and I'm going to start to get my application insights. And in fact, if I open up Visual Studio while this is running, I actually get this drop down here where I can view what's going on in application insights. And so here's all kinds of information with application insights. I actually had some errors there that I believe were timeout errors. Okay. And you can see the navigation. I can look, search all dependency events. So this is where there's a dependency, one function relative to another. I can clear that. Just view everything. I want to view all. And so you can see the time range for this. Telemetry, I'm 2 checks on telemetry readiness there. There's so much else you can do, but this is just almost minimal. I want to show you one other thing that I do have. I'm going to stop this here and close that for a moment. Now you can totally customize it. There's going to be a lot of information, as you'll see, that actually goes into Application Insights. And I just made one small change. I actually created a custom event. If I go into here, right here, this is in a controller. That's not really that critical. I've got a lot of failures on this request because I had a problem with the page. By the way, you'll notice right here, that's actually Application Insight data that's coming through and is showing up directly in my Visual Studio environment, which is pretty awesome. If I go down just a little bit, I've got some settings. So I created actually a custom event to track. And without, again, not going too much into detail, but it's very simple to do. I have a telemetry client that's going to configure and connect with my Application Insight settings. And I created a track event called student1. I'm just, okay, if the student ID is 1, then it's going to call that student1, or it's going to add an event for student1, and it's going to put in some properties, and I just added some custom properties. Now, what does all of this do? Okay, well, let's close that. That's the local one that's now closed. So here's my application, and if I go to students, I've got some information. This is, I happen to know my student 1, so I'm going to click on that. Really not affecting the operations. I have an error that I put in here. So if I click create new, I get an error. Okay, so it's just some activity that's generating. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to an application insights setting, and I've just got application insights, and I can see my list of application insights, and then I can go to that particular application insight, which is what I had up. And then there's so much that you can do here. I'm not going to go too far into too much depth with this, but right at the outset, you can see that I've got some graphs here, including server response time. I've got server requests. I've got failed requests, and this is over the last hour. And I'm not doing any web tests. Application map is pretty cool. It's going to map out where your different alerts are coming from. And if I scroll down a bit, I can see server requests. You can actually drill down into that. See that I've got a number of these requests that have come in. So there's index, there's students create, and you can actually drill down into a specific item, and you can actually, pretty cool, integrate with Visual Studio Online, which is going to allow you to do things like bug tracking, etc., or at least issue tracking. All right, so again, I'm just flying through here. There's so much you can do with this that I have to make this a reasonable demonstration, but still give you some pretty cool stuff. That's the what are we looking for? Quote on pricing, not what I wanted. Live stream metrics, that's pretty cool. That's showing you what's happening as your server is running. And if I go in here and make some calls, they show up there, not much going on. And if I generate an error, that's going to show up as well. And we're back to the overview. And there's just one other thing I wanted to show you. If I click under usage, give you some information. And then what's really pretty cool is over here under custom events, notice where it says student 1. I can click that. And that's that custom data that I added in, right? That's that custom event. And if I click on one of these, it's going to give me details on that event, including you can see the time, the event name, you can see the device type. You can even see there's that custom data that was associated with it. Again, the custom data itself is trivial, but the point is I'm able to add custom information into the application insights, into the process, so I can really track whatever I want.
Remember, that demonstration was with an application that really hasn't run very much. It's not about that we didn't really see that much data there. It's about what this interface, what this capability gives to us.